Good morning. Foreign workers in Japan rise to record 1.82 million. The number of foreign workers in Japan rose to a record high of 1,008, 1,008,000, 1,822,725 in 2022, according to figures recently released by the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare. According to the ministry, the number of foreigners employed in Japan had increased by 95,504 people by the end of October 2022, a growth rate of 5.5% compared to the previous year. The number of businesses hiring foreign workers also rose to a new record high of 298,790, an increase of 13,710 from the previous year. However, the growth rate was just 4.8%, a notable decrease from the 6.7% growth rate in 2021. Although labor shortages are still causing the number of foreign workers to rise, an official from the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare told Kyodo News that the rate of increase had actually slowed since the coronavirus pandemic began. 2/3 of all foreigners working in Japan were employed by smaller businesses that had fewer than 30 employees, and more than a quarter of them worked in manufacturing. But while about 18% of manufacturing businesses employed foreigners, the figure was slightly higher for the wholesale and retail industry, where about 19% of businesses employed foreigners. By nationality, the largest number of foreign workers were from Vietnam, with about 460,000 people, over a quarter of the foreign workforce. Really? Chinese nationals were the second largest group, with almost 390,000 per people, and workers from the Philippines took third place with about 200,000. Across the country, the Tokyo metropolis had the largest number of foreign workers, with just over 500,000 people, or 27% of the total. Aichi Prefecture came next with almost 19,000 people. Did I say that in the correct way? Or 10% of the total. And Osaka Prefecture was third with about 125,000 people, or 7%. Discussion. What are your thoughts on the Japanese government's findings? Does the industry you work in employ many foreigners? Actually, we do. What do you imagine makes people want to move to your country? What advice would you give to someone who had just moved to your country? Have any of your friends or family moved overseas for work? For the discussion, have you ever considered moving abroad? What countries could you see yourself living in? Have you lived in many parts of your country? Which did you like best? What parts of your country would you like to live and work in? When overseas, you learn more about your own country than you do the place you're visiting. That's true. Clint Borgen, what are your thoughts on this statement?